thank you very much for having me. Your name is Victor. Can you maybe, before we begin, tell me something about yourself and your living situation?
I'm 22 years old. I live in Aarhus. I study psychology currently.
Yes.
Just came home. My days vary a lot on psychology. There's different times we have different lessons, and not so much at the university, but in groups as well.
Okay.
Were you thinking more personal?
No, just like what is Victor's daily life at? Like, you're 22 years old. Have you been living alone for a long time?
I've been living alone for 2 years now.
Okay.
Since I stopped gymnasium.
Yes.
It's the name of our college-like thing in Denmark. Before you go to university, and then I studied law for 1 year. About 1 year.
Oh, so you studied law school before psychology?
I went to law school before psychology on university. I decided midways that wasn't for me, so I looked at psychology. I've always admired psychology and law, and I was kind of thinking maybe I can get a mixture of those two. If I can get a mixture of those two in law, if I can get the human in there, if I can see the human in law, I'll study that. Because I very much enjoy the combination of those two. But I couldn't get that. That was my feeling after a few months there, actually.
Yeah.
I was asking around also and couldn't find the right answer for my questions. So I decided to move on and found other answers in psychology.
Okay.
I very much like.
And is this part of since we're sitting here together, you have this dilemma going on right now? Is this part of this, since we're here talking, we have a reason for sitting here and talking, is that part of the situation you find yourself in where you sort of, maybe you can elaborate a bit about the situation, like the problem you have?
Yeah, so in terms of, if you don't have a girlfriend currently at the age of 22, you start to wonder, okay, do I want to have children before 30 years old, or how is my life going to look like in 5 years, say? So I have an idea where I want to be in 5 years and what I want to have accomplished and things I want to have ticked in the kind of this is what you have to do in life. But it can also be that it's just a construct that I've made for myself that I want to have kids before 30. I want to have a house before 30. I want to be settled down somehow before reaching age 30 years old. So the dilemma is, when do you settle down and why? And
so help me understand this. Is this also part of your situation where you started talking out about your education and stuff? Is it part of that, like, universe as well? Like, you're sort of in a place where you don't...
Yes, definitely.
Okay.
Like when you study, you don't necessarily have the economy to settle down, or you don't. Most don't. So therefore, you have to think about, do I have to get a job first before I settle down, or can I get a girlfriend? If I get a girlfriend, I have a girl that I'm currently seeing a little bit. And if we settle down, let's say, will that, like, the time period from when we settle down to when we start developing all those, I want this, I want that. It's more like, what do you want in life? And we have to be on the same page as well. So it's very difficult, the balancing study, work, relationship, family goes in there as well. Like, where is the family currently placed? For me, can I move to Copenhagen, example? Is that easier for me because there's more jobs, or is it easier to find a job here? And what about the girlfriend? Is she gonna have a job here in Aarhus, for example, where we at? Or is it gonna be some place else? And are we gonna move for that? Let's say she finds the perfect career for her, and she wants to pursue that. Do I move with her? Do we break up? Do we rip up in all those things. So
is this something that has been bothering you for a long time, or is it?
very much. Maybe it shouldn't be, because people say, "Oh, relax, you have time. You're not that old." But time goes fast.
You feel it goes fast.
Yeah, I feel it goes fast.
Yeah.
Like this maybe in the beginning when university was new, you had this new. Everything was going fast, but you could kind of see, okay, you take each day one step at a time. But now, when you go into this, what do you say, like routine, it becomes routine, and the routine kind of emerges into your daily thing. This is just my life now, and then it feels very fast. So every day feels very fast, and there's so much on the plate, and that increases those.
So how does that
factors.
affect? It seems to me that you have a lot on your plate, and you wanna.
Yes.
There's a lot of big questions in this one.
Yes.
How does it affect your daily life, just from you waking up to going to bed? Like, how much does this actually bother you in terms of affecting your work and what you do?
The more I can get on my plate, the less I think about it. So the more on the plate, the less I think about it.
Okay.
And that's kind of weird, isn't it? Because normally you would say, "Oh, the big questions, they must have a big place in your everyday life." And it's kind of, well, sometimes when there's not much to do, but then you tend to put too much on the plate, so then that becomes too much, and then you start thinking about it.
Yeah.
So it's having this balancing, like doing a lot of things, but not too much, because then it gets too much, and then you think about it. Oh, where's all this gonna end? And
yeah. So you mentioned before that people often tell you that, "Don't worry, relax. It will happen eventually."
Yeah, it will all
Is that
come in a natural flow. Sorry.
Yeah. No. Go.
It will all come in a natural flow. They say, like, it's gonna knock on your door, and you don't have to pursue anything. You don't have to. You'll get it all. Eventually, you'll stumble upon the right person, the right job, the right things in life. You don't have to do anything. And I kind of believe that's a little bit of bollocks, maybe. Like,
Okay.
I believe that to be not so true.
I understand.
Like, if you want something in life, you have to open the door yourself and go out there and find it.
I follow you on that one. So when you say they, can you be maybe more specific? Is it generally Is it friends? Is it family? Is it various sources where you feel this? Can I say pressure, or is it even pressure, or is it just like?
It can be. You get poked. You go to a family gathering, and there's your family sitting, and when are you gonna get married? Almost like it's. They're very much into your life and how
Your family.
Yeah. They're very much into one's life and how you're doing, and they mean the best, no doubt. They mean the best, and they want the best for you. That's of course, but it's also kind of a pressure that you have family in the background telling you, asking those questions. When is it gonna be? When are you gonna?
Do you have a big family?
No. Small family. My father's from Bulgaria, and so a part of the family lives in Bulgaria.
Okay.
And my mother's family is not that big, so that makes it a little bit interesting. It makes for some night.
What do you mean interesting?
It makes for some interesting family gatherings, because we're very close. Everybody in the family is very close.
Yeah.
So when you don't have 10 cousins and kids there, you have a family that's very compact, and if something goes wrong in this compact construction of your family, it shakes it all.
Okay. Yeah.
So that affects everybody suddenly. It's not only the two arguing about something or having a discussion.
Okay.
It affects everybody.
It becomes more personal.
Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely.
So, is it a specific side of the family? Is it like you had Bulgarian side and the Danish side, or do you just is this topic something that normally comes up, or is it like? I mean, because I'm trying to understand from your perspective, where is the frustration coming from when you talk that outside people are sort of pressing you in your family? Is it something that happens so often that makes your situation more and more frustrating, or is it just it's been stuck in your head that one time when this person said this and it was really triggering me, or is it like a pressure you feel as soon as you're together with your family? If you understand what I mean. If not,
I think it's very much a question of everything, sort of. It's a combination of society, life. You have this box of society that you have the outer walls, and then you have to build up in there, and what you build is up to you. But when you build, it's more of a question of timing, and then there's family telling you what to do and what not to do, and you make the right choices, but we want this for you, or so not in a demanding way, never in a demanding way in my family. It's never been like we demand, or we, what is the word for that, expect. It's not expectations that at this date you have to have a girlfriend, and then so long time after you get married, and then this happened. It's not like that. There's a script for that. So this script is made by yourself, society, and everyone involved in your life. Kind of set the
But as far as maybe I can feel, it's a frustration for you that your family is also part of that wheel, in some regard.
In some regard, yeah.
Okay.
That there's a pressure there that that you feel that if you don't, tempted to say, deliver on certain things in your life, like it was a requirement that me and my brother got some kind of education. It doesn't matter. We were always told as kids, it doesn't matter what you do whatever you want, but you need something, a purpose in life that you see for yourself. We want the best for you, but you choose. It doesn't matter if you become a lawyer or a garbage truck man or something entirely different. It doesn't matter. As long as you like to do what you do, you can do that.
So what is your parents, what are they working as with in their daily life?
My mom is a garden designer and constructing gardens and stuff like that. My dad has his own cleaning company with just a small cleaning company where he works himself and have some employees. So he works a lot. Okay.
So very hands-on, you could say, your family.
Yeah, very much.
Okay.
Very busy family. So therefore also.
Okay. Yeah.
Maybe the like you kind of get this built into your life that everything is busy, everyone is busy all the time. Therefore, everyone else must be too. But I've kind of been pulling a little bit in the I was about to say wrong, but in the different direction that, or maybe we should take it some gears down.
I see.
So we can.
Again, just to sum up, and correct me if I'm wrong, it's about how you feel pressure in your daily life from various sources on when to settle down, where to live, even what to work with, and those, what can you say, frustrations comes from various sources, from family, from friends. Do you also feel pressure from your education, or is that more a thing you easily balance, or?
The education would fall into the category of the society life thing. Yeah. Like you believe that there's expectations for you to be at a certain point in life.
Yes.
Sorry about that.
No.
Just pulling away. For you to be at a certain point in your life at a certain time.
Yes.
For most. Also with the colleagues, I would call them classmates, study friends.
So how do they see it? Is it for them more, how do they see, are you sort of in it together, or is it more like distance? Look at these guys, or they are really ambitious and they really want the best job possible and stuff like that.
They are very ambitious, and as they should be. I believe whatever field you work in, it's good to have ambitious people. If you don't, it's not going to be the best for you in the future. If you don't, whatever you do in life, do your best, and then but yeah, like the colleagues, in lack of a better word for that, what do you call that? Student friends. I guess they're more colleagues in some ways than they are friends. Some of them, of course, are closer to the friend zone, but it's more a place we come together and learn and then go home.
Okay.
But Aarhus University, they used a lot of time to try to establish for us a social network, so we can make new friends. But at this point in life, we also have a lot of other friends and a lot of other things going on. So
okay.
Yeah.
So if you don't, in your own words, we're sitting here in your own words as it is right now, how would you find, what would be the solution to this pressure you're feeling, frustration? If there is any solution, I do think there is, but just what have you been sort of thinking about currently, like over time with this?
I've been taking maybe a gear even more down and try to step out of your own narrow sometimes perspective, and then to look at it from a different place. You can always ask around because different opinions on your own subject, but you always hear that, oh, it's gonna come to you, it's fine, don't think too much about that, it's all gonna fall into place.
Yeah.
But if you don't think on it at all, that's a thought-provoking thought, that if I don't think about it at all, it will just come. I'm a little bit too much of a control freak to let that be the way that I go around this. So therefore, taking the gear down, step out of your own perspective and look at it from a broader perspective and think about, maybe look at what others do, like. But that's a society thing again, right? We're on in this box of what others do. I might as well do it as well.
Mm-hmm. So to take a step into the future, if you don't see this being resolved, this frustration you have, how do you see it affecting your life in the future? If this continues as it is, where you feel this pressure, as you said, if you see, as I understand, you have, and again, correct me if I'm wrong, that you might be stressed about this.
Yes, it stresses. Yes.
If this just continues as it is, like could you imagine it affecting your life in the future if you did nothing about it?
Oof. Oh, you could be all sorts of places. Yeah. It could be alcoholic for all I know. Like,
you feel you could be one, like for your own perspective. Now, looking from your perspective, like you probably know yourself better than anyone.
Yeah.
Like if this affected you as it does now, as you said, as it does with stress and stuff.
It would drive me nuts. Totally.
How?
Oh, not knowing where to go and when and what would happen, and you don't always know that. But just the fact that it's all up to chance, I don't like that at all. Not one bit. So, and I can even feel that answering this question, it's so thought-provoking that it really shakes me when thinking about that. Like, it's just all up to randomness, and maybe you are not gonna have all these things, or maybe you're not gonna have control over certain things in your life, and that's very thought-provoking. Okay. And scary in many ways. Yeah. That you don't know the future, of course. No. But if I can kind of steer it, if I can kind of maneuver the boat to where I would like it to go, then of course all things could happen, tragedy and whatnot, and maybe suddenly I want to be a doctor or something else, or I want to be a cleaning man or something. Like, I never know, but I have a good feeling of where I want it to go. And you still have your youth, as they say, 22 years old. That's what I hear. Yeah, that's what but you don't feel. But a lot of times I feel like in one snap of the finger, it'll be past me, and I'll look back and did I do the right thing? Maybe I'm thinking too much about this. So don't think too much about it and just enjoy youth. Just enjoy your life. That could also be a tactic. And that would probably be a good way to go about it for a lot of people. Okay. Just to actually follow that advice and leave it alone. It's gonna come knock on your door. but I can't help thinking that I just want to control when it knocks on my door.
Okay. Are you afraid of failure?
Yeah. It depends on what you mean by failure.
I mean, as an example.
Personal failure, or in a broader.
Yeah. What affects you the most? What would affect you the most? Like, again, this is big topics, and you talk about.
It is, and it's a little broad, I know, but. Let's say I failed this education.
Mm-hmm.
I really want to become a psychologist, and I want to work maybe within the industry and big companies, working with people, not only the employees of the company, but also maybe on a higher level.
Mm-hmm.
Because we see in today's society that stress and depression and stuff like that, it becomes increasingly difficult for people to hold their life together, despite that we are one of the most happy countries in the world, as they say. Mm-hmm. So if we are so happy, why do we feel so stressed, both at work and at home, and this work-life balance? How do we balance that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So again, it's very big topics, and do you not sometimes feel? I'm gonna try something here and ask you. Do you not sometimes feel that you're pressuring yourself too much on this, and that's actually what's making you feel frustrated, because you have these. You're very passionate. I can hear that, but you have these perspectives on a lot of things, and when somebody might ask you so what is your life situation, not just the society in general, you stress yourself out, or maybe not stress, but you pressure yourself with that.
Yes, I knock myself in the head a few times a day.
Because you're always
telling myself,
comparing yourself with society, and where are you and what is society? Is that wrong to say?
In some way, yeah.
Okay.
But also, I think it's in my own brain. I have created this construct of what I want, mm-hmm. and created a little path for me. But sometimes I find that this map I have made, there's different directions, and it's fine, but it's not. I don't always go the route that I want to go, and then there's these ups and downs, and I just want to find some kind of stability. And right now, I don't feel that is the current situation for me. I don't feel that I'm totally in control of what's happening in my life.
Okay.
So therefore, it's more of a question of can I live with that I don't have this stability? Will it come someday? And I've heard a lot of people talk about them feeling stressed in life in general, and with education and stuff like that. It gets very hectic sometimes.
Yes.
We're very busy. But yeah, maybe we just have to step back and enjoy, instead of worrying too much about what's next.
Is this something you've talked with other people about?
Yeah. Family especially. But again, that's a very close circle, so it's maybe also biased, that they want the best, and it's not always the best objective advice they give. It can be very personal advice. So therefore, it's maybe not the best. Your parents are not always the best advisors to their children. But for me, I've very good support, so that's very nice. But I have to find a balance myself. Like, how do I balance education, all these big questions of when, what, where?
Yes.
And then maybe not comparing so much to others.
I was going to ask you, like, what is, if you could put a finger on it, what is the most pressing concern for you right now? Do you feel is the most, out of all these?
The stress I feel with these things combined, the stress I feel about that.
Okay.
Like currently, I don't have a girlfriend.
Yeah.
I see this girl, of course, that's nice, but I don't have a girlfriend. Mm-hmm. So I don't want to stress that, because you can't, and I know you can't stress that. But me thinking about that affects everything else I do.
Yes.
Because I wonder sometimes, will it be for nothing? Will I ever get this?
Okay.
And then people tell me, then I'm back to the square one with people telling me.
So instead of missing out on it, or?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, maybe. Also, I live alone. You asked me when we started about my situation. I live alone in this 42, 43 square feet apartment. And I come home, I'm alone. There's of course my study partners, friends, and I see them, and there's a lot of social activity. But I feel that you can be alone and not feel lonesome, and you can not be alone and feel lonesome. So I have a lot of people around me, but the lonesomeness sometimes creeps up on me because I have this thing in my head about the stability and where I want to go. And, and then we're back to the problem.
Then it comes full circle.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you could, like, if I then could ask you the question of, have you tried, if you keep it on the girlfriend part, what have you tried and done to resolve it? Because if it affects you, I'm guessing you've had some ideas about what to do. Yeah,
what the fuck is wrong with me would be the first question. But then again, maybe it's criteria I place in front of myself to what I want to find in another person that's holding it back. And I'm a very introvert person on some levels, and that makes it even more difficult, I think, than to people that are very outwards and open-minded to other people and social meetings. And there are people out there who cannot be alone. But I don't feel, it may be that I don't feel too bad being myself sometimes. That makes it a hurdle for me to find the right person, because I sometimes I enjoy just being alone in my own world and studying or doing whatever. And then on the other hand, I like going out, playing football, watching movies and all those other normal social activities that people do, and
for sure I
very much enjoy that as well. But maybe that it's that I too much enjoy being alone sometimes. And then I have the days where I think, oh, it would be nice to have someone, it would be nice to share some things with another person close to you, and maybe one you were living with, and then you start to think about the whole, when I'm gonna get children, when is that gonna happen, how will that affect my situation in life, where will I be, all these,
because you're comparing it with the now, like where you are now, and then you feel like, how am I going to get to that end point?
Because the path ahead of me seems so foggy in some ways. It's a little bit foggy, so I can't see the end of the tunnel. Sometimes at least I miss the light there, and that's a little bit scary.
So going forward, what could you see yourself changing? What would you like to change about yourself? Something where you see this would help you eliminate some of these.
Tone down the introversy and then be a little more extrovert, being a little more outgoing, being a little more seeking of other people, new people.
Okay. I
found that starting university, before you do that, you have the gymnasium. Before you do that, you have the normal primary school, or what do you call that? So you make friends in all these different stages in your life. You make new acquaintances, you meet new people, you make friends, you make good friends, lifelong friends, and I've done that, and it's very nice. And you do that on all levels, and then you reach the level of university, and then you think, oh my God, how am I gonna fit all this into my life box of, because time is limited, you have to study, you have to see your old friends, you have to see the friends from gymnasium, you have to see the new friends, the study partners, the social activities. It's all just crammed into the 24 hours you have. And you also want to sleep, you also want to watch a little TV series, you also want your alone time, you also want your reading and stuff like that. So, and free time activities, whatever, sports. So it's all going to be crammed into this little box of time that is ticking very fast. So it can be very scary sometimes. That, oh my God, where's this going? Like, is this just life? And therefore, I try to solve it with just knocking the speed off, just taking the pressure off the pedal a little bit, and then.
In what ways have you done that?
Well, on the simple level, skip some of the text you're gonna read. Maybe skim them, in study.
Yeah.
Have groups where you read some text and then help each other. That's very nice.
And this works good for you?
Oh yeah, it does.
Okay.
It gives me more of a breather. And I can. You don't have to think about it all yourself. You can, and then sports. Begin a little bit of workout, a little bit of change the way I eat, sleep schedule, all those things. Just a little tweaks and.
Is it something you structure down, or is it just in your head?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I have actually a book, like a little schematic of because there's so many appointments now. There's so many social activities, and Facebook I'm a little bit old-fashioned, so I don't use my calendar on my phone too much. So I write things down because it gets too much to have in the head. So getting things written down and not being forced to remember everything is very nice. So you don't have it all in your head. And also speaking with good friends and getting things off your chest can be a very nice thing to do, because then you don't have so much in your head. That's nice.
That's true.
Yeah, and
I agree with that. Yeah.
And be with the people you love and like the most. This is where you have to spend the most of your time. It shouldn't be, in my opinion, it shouldn't be work necessarily.
No.
It should be with the people you love and like. Yeah.
How long time have you been doing this structuring thing? Is that new?
It's pretty new.
Okay.
It began around April, where I kind of sat down and thought to myself, this cannot be continuing.
Okay.
Like it was getting too much, and I sat down and how do I figure out how can I solve this problem with too much stress, and also things have been happening in my family. I don't want to go around that area too much.
No.
So it's just been ups and downs, and too much up and down makes you dizzy. So it's kind of the way to. I want to balance it out.
Yeah.
I want a more tight schedule. When you're in gymnasium, you have this more. You have everything in a schematic way. You do this, you do that, you do that. Freedom you have. You can. Then I spontaneously do something else, and now I take a break. And now, but you can code that into your schema. What do you call that?
Okay. Yeah, I understand.
Schedule.
Yeah, schedule.
Sorry.
Yeah. So you feel that is a good approach to it, and that's something you've incorporated into your life to sort of minimize the frustration and the pressure,
and the stress that is involved in thinking about where you're going to be in 5 years, and the current where you are currently, and the stress appointed to that area.
Yeah, I was going to say, do you have any other ideas you've been having in your head about how to minimize the pressure? Now you talked about the schedule thing, and that helps you a lot with structuring
very much. And
time.
Food is a big part of it.
Yeah.
And just in general, it's the little things that if you go around those things in a nice way, and you get up in the morning, you do your bed. There's certain things that just have to be in place and in order, at least for me to function. I have to have some kind of, I want to say control, but it's a lack of vocabulary that maybe I'm using that word. But it's having this structure it's structured in some way, so I don't get lost someplace. I have to have this.
Also with your food.
Road, in some way I have to have this road ahead of me so I can see at least.
Yeah.
a little bit of where I'm going.
You talked a bit about yourself in 5 years. If everything went well, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
In 5 years?
Yeah. You done with your education by then?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm done with my education. I am with a girlfriend. Maybe thinking about settling down. And then, yeah, that's where I am. Have you asked me 6 months ago, 1 year ago, I would have been more specific. It would have been more, I have to have this and this and this and this. And it, as time goes on, it gets more and more clear to me that, okay, I cannot get it totally my way. And that's naive in a way. I know, I can see that. It's naive to think that you can have it all your way entirely, but to have some structure, just in the balance of total chaos and total control.
Mm-hmm.
If I can be somewhere in the middle, that's very nice. Then I can find a perfect balance.
And do you feel you're going in that direction?
I very much do. Sometimes there's slip-ups.
And we all have slip-ups.
Yeah, there's always those small falls and times where it gets on your mind, or you're doing all these things, but will it be enough? Will it be enough for you to achieve this that you would very much like to do?
And to maybe ask you directly about this, you said about in 5 years' time you would like to have a girlfriend, you would like to maybe settle down, maybe a nice job. What if some in those attributes fails? What if you're in let's say you go 5 years in the future and you don't have a girlfriend? If that
I would be very much sad about that. But then I would.
What will you do then? If you're in that situation, like, it's not the end of the world, you could argue, but you could say that you're sort of again, like, you at that level must feel some kind of...
That's a setback.
Yeah, definitely.
And that sounds very much like a control freak's mindset, and maybe I am in some ways, but I'm very much trying to let go a little bit more of that control, and really go with the flow, like, what is going to happen is going to happen.
Yeah.
And some things are just out of your hands. But again, if I can steer the boat in the right direction.
Especially when you talk about feelings and other people. Yeah, it's hard to put that in stone and to say,
that is out of
me and her are going to be together in 5 years or whatever.
That's out of your control, and luckily that is.
Yeah, at least that's the